All right, everybody, welcome out to the Log Room Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, February the 8th, 2022. Jersey Johnny coming at you. And with me, as always, is none other than Mr. Beer Samurai. Say hello, Mr. Samurai.
Hey, hi. I'm not used to going live without any kind of like fanfare or anything.
Well, I could. You want me to say, something about his fake rug?
Maple syrup dripping down his fake rug?
Something like that, right?
Something like that, right?
It's the big toe. How's your pizza?
Actually, not bad. I mean, we talked about this. I had really no high hopes for it when I ordered it because it's from West New York.
As opposed to East New York or South New York or North New York.
Or just New York. Or just
Newark.
Newark. You would think with something with New York and a place with New York in the title would have great pizza, right?
Right.
The only problem is, and please, Hispanic community, do not take this disparagingly. Mm-hmm. But in the Hispanic neighborhoods, the pizza's a little different. It's not what I'm used to, so I'm not a particularly big fan of it.
Right.
Usually my rule of thumb is the place also sells empanadas.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not great pizza. Though they can make great parmesans.
Right.
Chicken parmesans. But this one...
so Scott Wells frequents there.
Got it. Yeah. No, he would never come into this neighborhood.
You'll have to get him one and bring it to him.
A little too soft.
There you
go. Don't see a lot of plaid in this neighborhood, actually.
Yeah,
anyway, but no, the pizza's actually pretty good. Good amount of oregano in the sauce, good salt in the cheese. So
very nice. Well, I had pizza before. We'll talk more about that in a minute, though, because.
Well, where the hell are you?
Right now, I am actually in Clifton Park, New York, which is about 10 miles, 12 miles or so north of Albany.
Why the hell are you up there?
I was bored. Got in a car, took a ride.
All right. You didn't drive by yourself, did you?
No, I didn't. I did not.
Just go with you?
No, she did not. No. Somebody else went with me.
You cheating on Jess?
No.
Who went with you?
This guy went with me. Right here.
Oh, I know that.
There he is. There you go. And now we'll start the echo.
Now we get the echo. Yes.
Now we get the echo.
Just a little bit.
So you're in the tap room at SingleCut.
The tap room at SingleCut. I got my SingleCut glass right there, and I got my SingleCut glass.
Well, yeah, of course, you're in the brewery. You better have
full of a SingleCut beer right here.
Well, what's interesting and extremely coincidental, wink, wink.
Yeah.
I've got a SingleCut beer myself.
How did you know?
I don't know. It's this technology they have called telephones.
Oh, that's right.
This is a extra dry rice lager.
Extra dry rice lager. It's so dry it froze you.
Huh? Oh God!
I said it's so dry it froze you.
You can still hear me though, right?
Oh, I can hear you fine.
Yeah, this is
like one of those. One of those correspondents coming in from like the Middle East or something. Just your picture goes on screen. And you talk.
That's okay. It's not a bad pose, I guess. We'll take it.
Yeah.
No, this is actually a beauty. I mean, it's got a little bit of sweetness from the rice, a little bit of some floral notes as well.
That's cool.
So, yeah, they did a nice job with this one. Yeah. Really nice low alcohol too.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got to have something low alcohol in my beer.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, the reason being is because it's international. I mean, I'm holding up the bottle to a frozen screen. It's International Scotch Day.
Is it International Scotch Day or just National Scotch Day?
That's International Scotch Day.
Okay, well.
It doesn't matter.
I'll change it.
Well, people listening won't see it. Who cares?
International. There we go.
But I got a bottle.
See, we have the technology.
We do.
There you go. Happy International Scotch Day.
So I got a bottle of the Glenmorangie, the La Santa, which means let's
see it. Hold it up to the screen.
Yeah. You can't. There you go. You see
it? Looks amazing.
Looks so delicious.
It's a sherry cask finish.
It's always a good one, actually.
Yeah.
I haven't had that, but I've had the Macallan sherry cask finish. It's really good.
Yeah. Do you think I'm frozen on your end or my end?
Oh, you're definitely frozen on your end. If you were frozen on our end,
Oh yeah,
we'd be frozen.
yeah, Mike.
What's amazing is that you're where you do the podcast from every week.
Yeah.
We're in East Bumblefuck, and we're fine.
East Bumblefuck as opposed to West Bumblefuck, North Bumblefuck, and South Bumblefuck.
And, or just Bumblefuck.
Let me do this. Let me see if this will.
We're coming straight out of Bumblefuck.
Straight out of Bumblefuck.
Right from the crack. Okay, well, what if I jump out and jump back in?
Can you take a screenshot? I'm afraid to do it on the iPad because there you go.
Hey,
Save that.
I'll be
That's
right back.
You be right back. You be right back. He actually logged out. So it's just me and you, Matt. So what do you want to talk about?
I don't know. It's like we've only spent 15 hours today.
About that, yeah. What else can we talk about? Let's see.
So that guy Dave, he really sucks, you know. Oh, hey, there he is.
Yeah, there's many things I suck.
He's back. Look at that.
I'm sucking on this.
Suck down some scotch. Yeah.
I'm glad you said scotch.
Scotchy.
Here's that bottle, by the way.
Scotchy.
Nice.
Very
So
nice.
I'm drinking it from a glass one of my employees when I worked in Rhode Island got me. It says Dave's Brewery.
Oh, very
Funny-
nice. You open one?
No, funny thing is, I don't own one. Don't plan on opening one.
Okay.
So,
Mhm.
but the glass is cool. I guess I have a name for a brewery if I ever decide to open one. Right?
There you go. And
Does
what does
anybody
it
have?
Dave?
Dave's Brewery. It's like, hi, my name's Dave. I have a brewery.
Dave's Brewery.
You want some beer?
Yeah.
Dave's beer.
See, it's Dave's beer. Dave's beer 1, Dave's beer 2.
Dave's Lager. Dave's IPA.
Dave's Stout. Hey, it's good,
If I,
you
was,
know.
if I was going to open a brewery, I don't think I'd call it Dave's Brewery.
I don't know.
What?
The most favorite beer would be Dave's Wickle.
Dave's Wickle.
Yes.
Dave's Wickle. Yeah. You'd play with that beer every day.
Oh yes.
All right.
The biggest
if
beer
you
I
would
got.
All right, so it's also Eat Potato Day, isn't it?
It's Eat Potatoes Day. Yeah.
So happy Eat Potato Day. There you go.
Just one potato, apparently.
Just one. Just eat potato. Eat a potato day.
No.
Oh, but I didn't put the E on the end of it.
Oh, it's actually Potato Lovers Day.
Potato Lovers Day. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm not adjusting that one.
No, screw it.
No big deal.
None of us are eating potatoes.
Matt, you said if you ever open a brewery, you would not name it Dave's Brewery.
Dave's
right?
Brewery, no.
What would you
Probably wouldn't be my first choice.
What would be your first choice, Matt?
I don't know. I mean,
Matt's Brewery.
I was
Matt's Brewery.
Yeah, that's pretty. Stop.
If you're Matt to open, Dave's Brewery would be a little
That'd
odd.
be stupid. Underwater Action Brewing.
Yes.
Underwater Action Brewing. Sharky Shark Brewing.
Unbelievably wet brewing.
Men in Gray Suits Brewing. Right, Men in Gray Suits Brewing, Matt? Did I get that right?
Men in Gray
Yeah.
Suits Brewing.
So unfortunately, there's already a beer called Men in Gray Suits.
Yeah.
So you could, yeah, that'd be rough.
Yeah.
This is true. This is true.
Well, all
So-
brewing, so many brewery names are already taken.
There. You just left again.
Can you hear me?
You're having, yeah, I can hear you fine. You're having all sorts of technical difficulties tonight.
Let me try this. Can you hear me?
We can hear you fine.
Let me try this. Maybe it's just where I got the camera plugged in.
Maybe it is.
Maybe I should pull it out of there.
I hope you're talking about the camera.
Yes. I am talking about the camera.
All right. As you can hear, you came back and now you're gone. Where are you?
Interesting.
Where'd you go?
He's a bat in a blackout.
It's like there's a blackout in West New York right now.
Well, actually, I live in Union City, right next to.
There's a blackout in Union City right now.
Okay, let's try this.
He's back to that picture.
I'm
And
just messing around with stuff here.
he's pushing every button to see what works. And there he is.
Oh.
And he
Hey,
came
got the
in
drum.
too.
You like that?
Hey, you know what? And the
Zoom
color
out.
balance is way better.
Yeah, I should make sure to plug it into the monitor, not the laptop.
There you go. There you go. So anyway. Right,
So anyway, we were talking
anyway.
about something.
We were talking about Matt names he would or wouldn't name a brewery if he were to open one.
Yeah, right now the name of your other podcast is coming to mind.
Get on with it?
Yeah, get on with it.
All right. So, Matt, what would you name a brewery?
Well, if I was going to name a brewery, I'd probably kind of fall back on some of my previous life as a marine biologist.
Sure.
And I'd have to do something kind of with the ocean or something like that.
I thought you're going to go George Costanza on us.
Yeah. Is there a marine biologist?
The most
Art
famous
Vandelay
marine
Brewing.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like, I always kind of like the word coastal.
It's a good name. I like that.
rather than
Okay.
littoral.
Yeah, coastal's way better than littoral.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everyone gets it mixed up with literal.
Yeah.
Littoral.
Yeah.
Littorally?
Littorally. You need, if anybody has a brewery named Coastal, they need to make a beer called Littorally Speaking.
There you
I
go.
do like that.
So Coastal Brewery, Coastal Brewing.
Coastal Brewing's take.
There's a lot
from
of
Florida. There's
just a lot of
No, that's
breweries.
Coastal Karma Brewing.
Coastal Karma Brewing. Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right. There's a karma in there.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a lot of breweries with the word brewery in it. So I think I'd have to twist it or do something a little more interesting so it's a little more memorable. So maybe like Coastal Beer Works or Brew Works. Or
Coastal, what about Coastal? Yeah, Coastal Brew Works. I like Coastal Brew Works. That's a good name. Coastal Brew Works.
It
Coastal
works.
Brew
It works.
Works.
Yeah.
Coastal
Coastal
Brew
Brew
Works
Works.
works.
And you know what? I got an idea. How would this be for a logo? What do you think? What do you think of that?
Those are some pretty colors.
I like those colors.
They're coastal colors.
Those are coastal colors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, blue and teal.
Blue and teal. There you go. That's
Oh.
very nice.
Well, no. You, Matt, you can't use that.
Why?
It's being used. I don't know if you looked at NJCB today.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
they announced that there's a brewery called Coastal Brew Works opening in New Jersey, or trying. I think it was said trying to open.
No. It said
It's a trying.
It's coming soon.
coming soon, early stages of opening, trying to open in 2022.
I said trying to open. Yes.
Yeah. Well, it was more words after the trying to open. There you
Yes. So it's called editorializing.
go. There you go. And which you do very well.
Yes.
Well, anyway, I like the logo.
I do like the logo.
Matt, do you like the logo?
Maybe
I
the
like
people.
the logo.
Maybe the people that are opening Coastal Brew Works, will like your logo and use it.
Okay. Matt, do you like the logo?
I like the logo.
So do I. All right, done.
Thing.
They like the logo. All right, Dave, you want to make the announcement for us?
So, ladies and gentlemen, and then most people listening have probably
Figured it out.
There's been hints every damn show where we talk about and wink. Oh, if only someone was opening a brewery. So, two of my good friends, Jersey Johnny and Matt Potenski, have decided to team up and open their own brewery. You know what the name of that brewery is?
What is that?
Coastal Brew Works. They've got
Coastal
a
Brew
bitchin'
Works.
logo with some beautiful coastal colors in it.
There you go.
They're going to start with Gypsy Brewing. Matt's
Contract
kind of used to contract brewing. Well, Gypsy Brewing means more than one place, though, right?
Gypsy Brewing means you brew the beer at other people's places. Contract means they brew it for you.
Or they brewing it for you. You won't be good. I mean, come on. Matt's going to not go there and brew.
No.
He will.
I might observe. Yeah. As per the letter of the law, I will observe.
Observe.
Oh, okay, so there's contractual thing going on, hence the
Absolutely.
contract. So they're going to start off contract brewing, and if you want to say where you're contract brewing, you can go right ahead.
Exactly.
And you've already got a spot sort of picked out already.
Yep, absolutely.
Down in a place where I actually lived when I was like 2.
Okay.
2 years old. Wall Township.
Wall Township. That would be correct. Before we go any further, let's get a couple of these done really quick. Brian Alt says, "Cheers, dudes."
Chuck
Aaron. Hey, Chuck. How's it going? Jersey Go Brewing says nice logo. Very nice. Absolutely. Then there's Adrian Roberts said, look at these nerds. Thanks, Adrian.
Which nerds?
I guess he's talking about all three of us.
Proud beer nerds.
Proud beer nerds. Chuck said, who are those people? Us, yeah. There you go. Forget that. And Adrian Roberts also said, flagship beer, Clown Punch IPA.
Okay, what do you have to explain why he came up with Clown Punch?
I don't really know. So
no,
Adrian, let us know.
Yeah, well, maybe it's just a name that Adrian likes.
Exactly. So anyway, Wall, New Jersey. The brewery will be going.
I like Littorally Speaking as the flagship.
Littorally Speaking.
Littoral Lager. How about that?
Littoral Lager.
That could be in there.
Right.
I'll put it on the list.
Put it on the list. Put it on the list. There you go. So
we have a lot of names that we can play with.
A lot of things to play with. So when and where do we expect to see the first Coastal Brew Works beers come out?
Well,
that's a good question.
That's a good question. Well, we will be contract brewing sooner than the building will be open. We may actually be contract brewing very soon. We won't make an announcement until we actually know exactly when we'll have beer coming out. We'll be within, a few weeks at that point, maybe a month. But yeah, it'll definitely a lot sooner than later. We plan to do some beer fest this year, and go from there. But as far as the building goes, we could be looking at. We're hoping by the end of the year, sometime in the fall, late fall. But it could quite possibly be like January next year.
Now
somewhere in that area.
There are some questions. This is from a very prestigious Facebook group. Mm-hmm. There's a Facebook conversation group, and there's some questions from there. Will the brewery be dog friendly?
Well, who doesn't love dogs?
Okay, so that's a yes. Will it be baby friendly?
Maybe it's a yes, maybe it's a no. But
yeah. The problem with dog friendliness is it's not usually up to the brewery. Dog friendliness has to do with the town.
The town itself.
Okay.
So, and how we're zoned. So certain breweries are zoned as food production facilities, aka you're not allowed to have animals. Some breweries are zoned differently. So when we figure out what our final zoning is, then we can make that determination.
Okay.
Did you hear all of that? Because I wasn't sure if it came through.
Yeah, no, it came through. Okay. We could hear
it's
that.
cut out for me, but that's fine.
So the next question was baby friendly.
Well, who doesn't love babies?
That's could go either way again, like you said with the dogs.
Well, you see, certain buildings are zoned for babies.
And some aren't. Well, if it's a production brewing, then dogs, yes, babies, no. If it's a restaurant kind of thingy, then it's dogs, no, babies, yes.
Yes, there you go. That's the one I
see dogs and babies at breweries all the time.
There you go. And there was, I believe there's a third question.
Growler friendly. Oh, there's a few more questions. Growler friendly was one.
Will we be growler friendly?
Will you have growlers, or will there be growlers?
We're working on that. We're working on that.
It's
I'm
TBD.
personally leaning towards growlers.
Yeah, well, we're both leaning towards growlers. So,
the problem with growlers is this: unless we're selling them a brand new one and pulling it off the shelf, I don't really know what the cleanliness situation of it is. And when I send my beer out of the building, I want to know that it is, as best as it can be. So at least a crowler, which we seal, we put CO2 in it first, seal the beer up. I know that that's clean, fresh beer going out. Nothing's going to contaminate it.
So as long as you can afford the crowler machine, it's going to be crowler over growler.
Also, I think it's a little more stable.
Yeah. Crowlers are more shelf stable. They'll last a little bit longer. Growlers, I hate to pour beer into a growler that somebody brings in They bring it home. It sits in their fridge for 5 weeks, and it wasn't completely clean to begin with when they brought it in. And all of a sudden, his buddy comes over and he drinks the beer and thinks it's disgusting, and then gives us a 2 on Untapped because his buddy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
So,
the next question from the group was: will you allow wombats?
of course.
If you go through the trouble of getting a permit to import a wombat to the U.S., knock yourself out.
They got those square poos.
Yeah.
And then there was another question: will you be DIPA friendly? I will answer that one for you, folks. They've got to pay the bills.
Yeah, got to pay the bills.
Got to pay
the bills.
So they will be DIPA friendly. Next question.
Mm-hmm.
This was not from the group. This is from me. Now, Matt's one of those people that pops up all over the place throughout New Jersey. He pours here, he pours there. Most Saturdays, you'll find him at Mellow Vino. Will this put a crimp into your? Yeah. So we'll still expect to see you at Mellow Vino.
Well, not when.
In all my free time.
Yeah.
In
all of his free time, after the 90 hours a week he spends brewing.
I don't think I'll be pouring it Mellow Vino.
Is Sergio aware of this?
Yeah, I mean, he knows where we're at. And I told him that to the point where I can't do it, I can't do it. So come into Mellow Vino while you can see this.
There you go.
See that guy.
Absolutely.
But the point is, Matt can pour up pouring just about anywhere.
Sure.
Remember what took a friend to? Oh, never mind. I completely forgot where the hell that was. You just I walked in and Matt's behind the damn bar. Did not expect to see him back there. Anyway,
it wasn't Maloney's. It was
no, it was Maloney's. Actually, it was Maloney's. Was Maloney's.
Yep.
There you go. So, by the way, we are at SingleCut, and SingleCut does play a lot of music. So, if you hear music in the background,
that's what's going on there.
It's going on because we're at SingleCut. So there you go.
So it's kind of like when I was down in Florida.
Tuesday night party.
Yeah. There you go. Adrian Roberts, by the way, commented on Flagship Beer Clown Punch IPA. He said that because he just feels it really encompasses the essence of the brand, he said.
So he's thinking that you two clowns are just going to keep punching each other.
Yeah.
Sure.
Makes sense. I get it.
Or we're going to make an IPA so good, it's going to punch you right in the face when you drink it.
Where does clown come into it?
I don't know. We're clowns? I don't know.
Well, that's a given.
All right. So anyway. But,
well, gentlemen, congratulations on this announcement.
Yep.
Of course, then the next question comes. With as busy as you guys are going to be, what's going to happen with the podcast, Johnny? Are we going to be doing this every Tuesday?
The podcast will continue.
The podcast will continue. Yeah, every Tuesday night. I mean, it might be being done from the brewery, but you got to remember that could be almost a year from now. So, follow. So you've got a good question coming in. This is going to come up next, but we'll let Doug ask it.
All right. Doug, how many barrel brew house do you have planned? Congrats. Thanks, Doug. Matt, you take that question.
I am going to be slaving away behind 2 brew houses. Is the plan? We plan on
Matt, repeat that. The echo knocked that out.
I plan on slaving away behind 2 brew houses. We got that?
2 what?
Brew houses.
2 brew houses.
So
he plans on slaving away between 2 brew houses.
Yeah. The first one will be 3 barrels or 3.5 barrels in that range. And the second, the bigger brew house, will be 50. 15.
15.
Yeah,
Not 50.
Not 50.
15.
Holy hell, where did you guys get the scratch from? Now, everybody, they were up in upstate New York, further upstate New York than they are now, talking to a supplier of brew equipment.
Mhm.
So I just thought maybe they had given you such a great deal, you decided to go from 15 barrel to 50.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, once you get up to 15, 50 is not that much more. Just
It's only more than 3 times the size. Yeah,
We just have to go mine the steel ourselves, and we'll be fine.
yeah, it's gonna be styrofoam.
Yeah.
they're gonna supply us the steel. We got to roll it ourselves.
And do your own welding.
And of course. Well, I mean, of course. So 3-barrel system and a 15-barrel system. It'll actually be a 3.5 barrel system and a 15-barrel system. So,
Well, Matt did say 3.5.
Yeah. So no, I corrected myself, not Matt.
Corrected your stuff. And it was funny because we were talking to a brewery a few weeks ago, and they mentioned that they were working on a 15-barrel system and a 3.5 barrel system, and that was one of the many hints that was given. Because John went, "Oh, that's interesting," because he already knew that you guys were going 15. And
Yeah, I mean, the math works between 3.5, 7s, 15. You can use either system and go up or down and kind of do different things, fill in the tanks.
Okay, so flagships on the 15, one-offs and seasonals on the 3.5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll be doing some stupid beers.
Yeah, flagships on the 15. And there'll be eventually there'll be some double batching into 30s, but flagships and some seasonals, depending on what the seasonals are on the 15s.
And how popular they become, right?
And how popular they become, yeah. And then,
you might have a seasonal you do 1 year on the 3.5 that you got to do in the 15 the next year.
Sure, yeah. Tap seasonal specialty beers, taproom beers, one-off, pilot batches, all of that are going to be they'll be on the smaller system. And then, yeah, if they wind up graduating up to the bigger system because of popularity, then great,
Excellent, like your oyster pumpkin stout that's coming up.
Right, yeah. Rocky Mountain Oyster Pumpkin Stout.
Actually, has anyone ever done an oyster?
That's our first release.
Has anyone ever done an oyster pumpkin?
I don't think
Probably with good reason, no.
And everyone, just for the record, I will be throwing at them the craziest damn ideas for beers. And
there's already a lot of crazy ones.
We will be shooting a lot of them down.
One will stick. One will stick.
One will stick. Yeah, throw it against the wall, see what sticks.
Yeah.
So
just like
anyway. So just in case anybody's looking right now, we'll throw this up again. Once again, this is the logo.
Yep.
So thank you very much. And
all those beautiful blues and greens in there, and and the great thing is now the Jersey Shore. If it was the Jersey Shore 30 years ago, there'd be some brown in there.
I don't have it, but it's on. Yeah.
But now the Jersey Shore's cleaned up, so that dark green and the middle green, those two greens.
Teal.
So the dark green and the teal is more of the Jersey water now.
There you go.
It's living water.
It's living water.
It's got plankton in it.
Exactly. And just so you're aware, we've launched the social media and the website. So this is all the information. So you can visit the website at www.coastalbrewworks.com. And you can visit us on Facebook is at Coastal Brewworks. So facebook.com/Coastal Brewworks. Instagram is also at Coastal Brewworks. And Twitter, because the illustrious Brain Trust at Twitter doesn't allow more than 15 characters, and Coastal Brewworks is 16 characters. Twitter is at DrinkCoastalBW.
There you go.
So, there you go. So
again, Matt, a word of advice. If you have an email box at coastalbrewworks.com, wring John's neck until he tells you how to access the thing. I still can't access it.
He's been accessing his since last August or July, actually.
I can get it on my phone. I'm good.
Get on his phone.
Okay, good.
So the next time
the next time
I see you in Portland, apparently, I will show you how to do it. So,
alrighty.
It's not a bad segue.
It's not a bad segue. Foreshadowing. It's too early to do the top three. So.
The funny thing is, now I'm going to Italy in April.
Mm-hmm.
So expect to have a really weirdly timed show in April because I'll probably be doing it from Italy. And we may have to do it a little earlier than usual, or I'll be doing it at like 1 in the friggin' morning.
Works for me.
But I did look. I'm trying to learn Italian, And I learned that seguire is Italian for to follow. So segue means you follow.
Mm-hmm.
I found that interesting. No one else does, but I did.
Segue to follow. Well, I mean, that kind of makes sense now, doesn't
It
it?
makes sense, right?
Right.
So it's easy for me to remember the word to follow.
To follow.
Yep.
There you go. You know what? Yeah, never mind. I'm not going to say those words. Anyway.
No, don't say those.
say them
Does
off
it
camera.
rhyme with start with an F and end with an O? L? No.
Maybe.
So, anyway. So what was the segue that Matt was segueing into?
So wait. Una birra, por favor.
Por favore. Una birra. Dura bere.
Yeah.
Por favore.
That's all you need.
Do it a bit.
Then you need to figure out, say, where's the bathroom? You're covered. Whole trip is done.
That is no. I read it. Dove la. Just dove something. I forget the bathroom already. I know the post office.
It's a weird place to take a shit.
It's a mad day. Mad day.
It's like
Every time you gotta go to the bathroom, you gotta be hoping you're close to a post office.
post office.
Yeah.
And you got to wait in line, get up to the counter. I mean, you know.
Mad day. And they'd be like, come on.
Special delivery.
You thought you were saying May Day, and they were saying Mare Day.
Mad day.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So.
Anyway. All right. So that's the big announcement for the day.
That's a big announcement. That is so the show is a little different, a little truncated. We had no intro because John and Matt were on the road securing.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to
sort of
take all the brewery equipment. That's on my mind. Yeah,
and
all the podcast equipment and take it all on the road and hook it up. We have no outlets where we are right now either. So
if one of them goes dark, it's because they died.
I got 51% of my.
It's because our battery died.
The battery.
Not because we're Dave.
No.
So
let's see. Loro non muere. I forget dead.
Anyway.
To die. Anyway.
So that's the big announcement. So Coastal Brewworks, www.coastalbrewworks.com. Facebook and Instagram are both at Coastal Brewworks, and Twitter is at DrinkCoastalBW. We will be making an announcement at some point, in a matter of months, probably fewer, sooner than later, where with beer available, and then as we get further into the year, we'll have an announcement as far as when we're in the building it out, and all of this is going to be documented on our website and our Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and everything, and very soon we'll actually have some merch too, so that'll be nice.
Merch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to have a Coastal Brewworks jersey?
What do you think?
You'll have to get the number of the year that we open.
Of course,
on the back of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or 62,
and David,
or 420.
Dove il bagno.
Bagno.
Yes, bagno. Yeah.
Dove il bagno.
Yeah.
That's it.
So anyway.
So I'm going to toast you guys. And we went through that whole period there where I was always drinking a pink beer.
Mm-hmm. So you're having another one.
I'm going to a pink beer. But to further segue into the segue, It's a Foundation Triple Berry Jam.
Oh, look at that. Triple Berry Jam. Very nice. Just so you're aware, I have been drinking a single cut. Those, what's it called? What's it again? These. Oh, yeah. These clouds all disappeared. Those clouds all disappear.
And I am drinking a
Those clowns will disappear?
yeah
Clouds.
clouds.
No.
Those clouds all disappear.
Those clowns will disappear.
And I am drinking a Caught in the Spotlight IPA.
Spotlight. Caught in the spotlight
My
IPA.
audio like skipping.
Exactly. But some nice single cup beer, and a nice podcast here on this chilly night here in Clifton Park, New York.
I'm gonna take. There you go, you gentlemen.
There you go. Probably
Immortalize this
about
moment.
a quarter mile away from the Adirondack Northway. We are right over here. So.
It's cold.
It's pretty chilly up here. So
And you know I love the Adirondacks.
absolutely.
Love the Adirondacks, and we
So-
we won't get into that whole discussion if Glen Falls is the Adirondacks or not.
No. It's right on the border of the Adirondack Park. I know. So the next town up, Lake George, is the beginning of the Adirondack Park.
And even though it technically is, I consider it basically, especially Lake George Village. I consider
It's
the seaside
gateway
heights.
to the Adirondack.
It is the gateway, but Lake George Village is like the seaside park of the mountains.
Seaside Park of the Mountains. Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. All right. So on that note,
Is that a C
you-
minus? A C minor?
C minus.
C minus. Like
That's
my
not
grades.
grade. No, not grade. No. Okay. You held up. You're drinking a Foundation Brewing can, and there was a Portland reference before.
Yeah,
Me meeting you.
Foundation's in Portland,
hmm
and I know
So
someone
I-
likes Foundation a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of good foundations out there. So let's why don't we right now? We can talk more about the brewery afterwards. Why don't we right now switch it up and why don't we jump to our top threes?
We actually have a top three tonight. There's
We
actually
have a
some
top-
structure to the structure of the show.
There's structure to the show. We have a top three list
Oh.
tonight. As we all segue now, our top three list tonight is top three favorite beers from Portland, Maine. Look at that. Top three
What's
favorite beers
interesting-
from Portland, Maine.
What's interesting is we have done on the show top three Allagash beers.
We did.
We did. So expect repeats
hmm
because let's face it, Allagash is one of the best breweries in Portland.
Sure.
They're the kings. They're the OGs. You go to Portland, you've got to go to Allagash.
Of course.
So,
There's
what song's
a-
playing now?
I just looked up. There's a TV here. And it was like one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen on TV.
You ever see? There's some show apparently on FX.
Okay.
Wilfred.
Wilfred, is that about the rats?
No, it's
That's Willard. That's Willard. Never mind.
This is like a dude in a dog suit, like almost like dog.
Oh, okay.
And he was just like pumping a glory hole.
Was it Elijah Wood's in it?
Basically, the best way I could explain what was going on.
It's Elijah Wood, right? Elijah Wood and
Elijah Wood in a dog suit, humping.
No, Elijah Wood.
was the guy,
the guy.
and then seeing the guy in the dog suit.
He sees an imaginary guy in a dog suit that he kind of pals around with and does has conversations with about life and so forth and so on.
We're
That's
also
not the guy
watching
in-
it with there's no sound.
There's no sound,
So
yeah.
there's like no context of what's going on. It's amazing.
One of the best things I ever saw on TV, I saw one of my friends, Dave, his band, Bald Red Lady, were playing in a place. Was it Kearney or Harrison? I forget exactly where they were, but this place was like kind of a punk venue, and they played like B grade horror flicks. And there was this one movie they were playing, and it was behind the band. They kept the movie playing while the band was playing. And it was something like The Killer Eyeball or something like that. It really was this eyeball that went around killing people. But it's full of gratuitous violence and gratuitous nudity. And at one point, the busty female lead is in the back, and she's shirtless and just screaming. And they must have had the camera on her for about a good
17
3
minutes.
Yeah, about. It was ridiculous, but it was hilarious because the band kind of got a feeling that there was something going on behind them. So you can see the whole band go. And the music slowed down because the drummer slowed down. Oh, it was hilarious.
That's pretty
Anyway, we've derailed off our top three.
Zero right at the top three. This is right from the start. Look at that. So anyway, tonight's top three list is top three favorite beers from Portland, Maine. Top three favorite beers from Portland, Maine. And Mr. Potenski, why don't you start us out with your top three favorite beers?
All right, I'm going to start us off. Actually, he's talking about affiliation, and that's where I'm going to start. And I'm going to go back to one of the classics, Epiphany.
Tiffany.
I remember having Epiphany probably 7, 8 years ago.
Was it an epiphany for you?
I mean, in some ways it was. It was a really, really good IPA. It's what they call a Maine IPA.
Right.
So it's not super hazy, has a little bit of bitterness, but still has a lot of the juice and tropical fruit of a New England. It's Citra, Mosaic, and Ella,
Okay.
Ella, whatever you pronounce.
So you're saying this was kind of the beer that may have launched what become Thistle Brothers, in effect? That
Yeah.
What they do, their style.
It's the citrus and tropical fruit, but with some pine and a little bit of bitterness. Things went a lot lighter in IBUs to get to a true New England. But if you drink that, it's nice. It kind of has a little bit of impact to it. A little bite, even though it has all.
As far as the IBU or the alcohol or
the IBUs.
The IBU.
Yeah, the IBUs. It's got a little bit of hop bite, but still a very New Englandy flavor profile. So.
Okay.
There you go.
And my number 2 is from Oxbow, but I'm not going to do one of the wild ferments. I'm actually going to do one of their stouts. So Max Ton is a rye whiskey barrel.
Hey, John, can you mute while he's speaking? While he goes through this, because the echo is getting.
The echo's getting bad.
It's getting really bad.
How's this?
That's much better.
Oh, okay, cool.
You guys are going to have to switch off because I think the music's getting a little louder, which is causing you two to echo more.
So the next one is Oxbow Max Ton. So it's a rye whiskey barrel aged Belgian Imperial Stout. They actually did.
Wonder why you like it.
What's weird because I'm not usually a fan of the Belgian stouts, believe it or not.
Really?
Yesterday roast is not my favorite combination, but
Okay.
the rye barrel really ties this together. It was a collab with one of the guys who was originally at Jackie O's.
Oh, I love Jackie O's.
Obviously, they make some pretty decent stouts over there.
Well, we did our top high gravity beers, and John set the limit, and he set the limit just above any Jackie O beers. I was like, damn it!
Yeah,
that's a hard thing to do, by the way.
It's just a really good stout, and it's relatively straightforward, but the profile of the roast and everything actually matched so well with the rye whiskey barrel, and it's they're known for their wild ferments or American wild ales.
Well, also that rye bite must have eaten into those esters and knocked those down quite a bit for you, right?
So, but it shows you that what. Don't get me wrong; they're excellent at making those wild ferments and those barrel aged beers.
Oh,
but it's amazing to me that they can make such a solid, just regular imp stout, barrel aged imp stout as well. So it's I always say there's brewing and there's blending, and those are two different skill sets completely.
Yeah,
and you can do one well and not do the other one as well. And they do both really well, and I think that beer really showcases how they do both things really well. So
that's a fantastic point.
Yeah. And then my all-time favorite is I had to go with Allagash. It's Barrel and Bean, which used to be called James Bean, and it's
couldn't.
Yeah, it's a it's a Belgian golden ale, basically a triple kind of.
So basically, you won rock paper scissors over John on the ride down there.
Yeah,
because I know that is one of.
I get to go first, so he's kind of screwed. That's just the way it goes.
And if he makes me go first, he's going to get screwed on one of his as well.
So then, again, this is a Belgian triple. So they have the Curio, that is the Belgian triple aged in the bourbon barrels, and then they actually add cold brew to it. And even though triple is such a light style, it's just the strong flavors of bourbon and I feel like the strong flavors of bourbon and coffee are both there, but yet they don't totally overpower the base beer, which means which they're still kind of balanced, and it's a beautiful beer with a lot of good flavor, and that still drinks light for the amount of ABV and the amount of flavor that's packed into it. So it's the essence of a Belgian where they want to make a gastronomic ale. So I think that even though that's so strongly flavored, I could see you having that probably more with a dessert course, granted, but you could still have that with food on a certain level.
Right.
So that's my 3.
All right.
So you going first or am I going first, John?
You can go first. Go ahead.
Well, we're gonna go, which probably makes sense because I can play off of Matt's barrel and bean because my favorite Allagash, which is probably the top of my list. I don't know if I've got a 1, 2, 3 here. Is Strictivus because Strictivus is also, I believe, a variant of Curio. I forget what they do with it to get it to that point, but Strictivus, I went there and I had 3 beers. For the longest time on the Beer Samurai Facebook page, those 3 beers were my, my, not my profile pick. What do they call that header pick that they've got up there? Anyway,
Cover photo?
Cover photo. That's the one. It was the cover photo. And a Haunted House was on there. There was another fantastic beer, but Strictivus, hands down, was my favorite beer that I'd had that day. And I've been to Allagash a few times since, and nothing compares to Strictivus. That was just a fantastic beer. I'm going to go with I got to go with an Oxbow as well. Like Matt said, they're wild fermentation, they're saisons, they're blending. Magenta. My first sip of magenta was while I was eating the poutine from the Freak Shack. So I said, you know what? Let me put this off to the side. Let me finish the other beers because this one seems to me like this is going to be special. Because as we know, I like pink beers. And magenta is a pink beer. Well, it's magenta beer. It's actually more pink than magenta. Finished the beers, had some water, then drank the magenta, and then asked them. He was like, "Give me a bottle," and they were all out of it. So they saw me cry at the bar. It's a special beer. I really love that beer. The other, I got to throw a few out there as honorable mentions. Mass Landing, Pantless Thunder Goose. And I don't know if Pantless Thunder Goose, I loved it so much because it really is a great beer, or it's because it is the untapped name for my friend Jason, who I call Meathead, Pantless Thunder Goose. It's also the nickname for an ostrich. Pantless Thunder Goose makes sense. That was a great beer. Good Fire. When I was at Good Fire, there's a couple beers that I had there that I absolutely loved. Super Prime and CMYK. Super Prime, they have that quite a bit. That is really that's a great IPA. They really do some great hoppy beers over there at Good Fire. But we mentioned Bissell Brothers. I don't have a Bissell Brothers on my list. I mean, I can give Bissell Brothers an honorable mention as a brewery in and of itself. They do so many great things. But very close to Bissell Brothers is a place that I think all 3 of us love, Bunker Brewing. And Bunker Brewing, if you go onto their Untapped rating, they're Untapped. Ignore their rating. They're underrated because they're right next to Bissell Brothers, which means most people going there are the hop heads. These guys aren't into the hops. They do some things very, very well. One thing they do extremely well is their Czech lagers called the Machine. And this is such a great beer. It is
so he wasn't lying. He's stealing my beer.
Yeah, and I'm stealing one of his beers. It's the Machine is a fantastic beer. John and I would have come to fisticuffs if only one of us could take it. So I'm gonna turn it over to John so he can mention the beer itself. And the way I look at it, I don't consider it stealing. I consider it we're just piling on as to how special this beer is.
Well, there you go. All right. I'll mute you now.
Yeah, let's see if we
I'll
can
mute
mute
you now.
I may go get another beer.
There you go. All right. There you go. He's going to get another beer. I look at this. I actually have another beer. Look at that.
And not for nothing, John, but I think what that just proved is we can hear him more on your setup.
Then
that's what's creating the echo.
And that's what's screwing it up a little bit. Yeah. So I'm actually drinking a Frequency lager. So yes, I'm drinking Frequency lager. Yeah.
How frequently do you drink those?
Whenever I'm at SingleCut. So
pretty frequent.
Been a while since I was at the one in Queens. So
I was at the one in Queens a couple months ago. They are not serving inside.
Really?
They will pour inside, but you must take it outside.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You were sitting on the curb, drinking your beer.
I was sitting on one of the little picnic tables at the curb.
Yeah.
freezing my butt off waiting for Carrie and her son to land at LaGuardia.
There you go.
Not an awful way to spend that wait time.
Not too shabby. Not too shabby.
Nope,
All right.
not too shabby.
So my top three. I'll go through them pretty quick. My top three are, well, I'll give you a couple of my my honorable mentions really quick. All right. All right. Well, I got to do it like this because my honorable mentions only make sense if I tell you these first.
Well, if you do all the if you go back to honorable mentions, every fucking cool shit beer ever brewed by
Well,
Alan
yeah,
Cash.
of course. Yeah. So, all right, my number. Hold on one second. I'll just give you mine. Forget it. My number 3 is Machine Pills. Okay, as you just said, Bunker Brewing Machine Pills. Such a perfect Czech Pilsner.
Perfect is the perfect word for it.
Yeah, it's so well done. It's ridiculous. If I had to mention another bunker, and that's just from this year, because we don't drink a whole hell of a lot of bunker down in Jersey, obviously, unless you go up there or somebody is going up there.
Though I drank one a week ago,
but this
and it's going to be the one you're going to mention too.
I don't know.
I believe.
Oh no, not that one. No. You can mention that if you want, but no, my other one's going to be they actually did a Mexican lager with lime, and it was delicious. Hacienda Lime, they called it. That was really, really well done. But no, so they're doing some really good lagers. They're doing some really cool things at Bunker. So that's that.
And now we're seeing more of this like kind of lager revolution.
Mm-hmm. It's big, and I'm loving every minute of it. It's
loving
so
it.
good.
Expecting to see more people get to Bunker.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get there, support these guys. Make them change their logo. I don't like their logo.
Yeah. My number 2 is from Oxbow, of course, and that would be Crossfade.
Not sure I've had Crossfade.
Crossfade. It's saison. It's a blended hoppy saison with Brett and bottle conditioned. It's as are most of them, but it's just a really good spot on version of what Oxbow kind of stands for.
Oh no, I did have Crossfade.
There you go. And then before I give you my number one,
we had it at Spite and Dive.
We did.
Yeah.
All right, we did. There you go. Hence why I like it so much. There you go.
And I believe, this was my 50th birthday crawl. We had it.
Your 50th birthday crawl, which we actually started, ironically, at SingleCut in Queens.
Yes.
There you go.
Full circle.
Full circle. It's like a big circle. It's like a circle. So,
the circle of life.
Before we get
the definition of full circle.
Pretty much, yeah. Before I get to my number 1, I will say, just based again on this year, like I mentioned, the Hacienda Lime from Bunker, what we call it, Four River. Nobody's ever going to mention them, right? In top beers in Portland kind of thing. They do a couple of decent beers. They do a couple of really spot on. This year they released was it Dow's Folly, I believe it was called. Dow's Folly. It was a pre-prohibition lager. It was really well brewed. It was a really good beer. And then
I'm sorry, I have to laugh. I just got a text
from
Leon. Said, I know that sometimes I can be as dense as the lemon bar I just ate, but is flayed on Jersey Johnny?
Right back, no.
Yeah, I really.
Well played.
It's his brother.
Yeah, well, considering I probably got this text because he's probably watching. I think he probably just gave it up.
No, I'm not. He's my twin. He's my brother.
Oh God,
he and Evie.
God forbid, there's two of them.
Two of us, right? Exactly. And then I also will mention Bellflower because they're a newer brewery too, and their hexology was a spot on. It was the first double dry hop IPA they did, and it was really well brewed. It was really good.
And you know what state I was in when I finally made it to Bellflower? I was in.
You were in Maine, of course.
I was in the state of Maine, but the condition I was in at the time was the beer was right about here, and the vomit was right about here, just ready to come. I couldn't taste a damn thing at that point.
Yeah, there you were. We started at what?
Started at 11
quarter to 11 o'clock in the morning at Allagash. Yeah. So anyway, but my number 1, and I will mention that Matt indeed did steal my number one. Because if you go back to the Allagash show, which Lindsay Bohansky from Allagash was on the show, we did our top 3 Allagashes. What was my number one Allagash?
Wit.
Yeah, of course, James Bean. So anyway, but
James Bean doesn't exist. We know this.
I will. Oh well, yeah, barrel and bean, yes, barrel and bean. But I will replace it on this list with Avance.
With what? To bless you? What?
Not Beyonce, Avance.
Fonse.
Or Avance.
Avance.
Avance. Avance with the.
You said it the Italian way.
Avance.
America.
Yes, Avance.
Yeah, this is America.
Merca.
Speak American.
Avance. I'll read you. It's an American. Yeah.
You had to Google this, didn't you?
No. It's got
then what are you reading?
It's a wild ale with strawberries aged in bourbon barrels. I was just looking down at my phone with my notes.
Notes.
Thank you.
You put notes on your phone.
Anywho, yeah, well, no, I write notes on the table at SingleCut right here. Just scratch them in with it.
I put them on your hand.
In my hand. There you go. Anyway, so this is my top 3. There you go.
You can't read them through all the hair on his palm.
Exactly. Get it. Got to think of these things.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So there you go. There's our top 3s for the night. Pretty good job, guys.
So now the top 3s are over. I'm going to play John Flayton.
You do that.
So what beers do you guys have planned in the future?
We have a few. Matt, I should unmute him so you can talk.
You should probably unmute him so we can hear him, and unmute yourself a little bit.
We're gonna have beer flavored beer.
I like beer flavored beer, which means we're gonna have some lagers, some pilsners.
I'm not gonna make any alcoholic fruit smoothies. I'm not gonna do it.
What about pastry seltzers?
Nope.
Thank you.
Nope. I'm not saying we won't have seltzer, but it'll be very simple for all the people who walk into my brewery who don't drink beer.
Okay, there's one thing we're failing to mention. We have 2 of the brewery owners on the show right now. There is a third.
Before we get, unmute me. Before we get to that, Al Gattulo just said, "I love beer flavored beer." There you go.
Yes, he does.
That's what we're shooting for.
That's what we're shooting for. Yeah, absolutely.
Now, so John, do you want to mention your third owner?
Absolutely, yes. There's the 2 of us, and actually, let me do that. So we got to get back and forth with the muting. That's good.
Yeah, bounce it.
So you can hear me now, right?
No.
You can't hear me?
No, I can't hear you at all.
Can you hear me now?
How am I answering you if I can't hear you?
Yes, it's the 2 of us, and our third partner is Mr. James Healy.
James Healy.
James
Healy. And some people might call him an ex-Marine, but there's no such thing as an ex-Marine.
Once Marine, always a Marine.
Always Marine. Mm-hmm. He's just an old, not as in great shape as he used to
be.
He's not
Marine.
that old. No, he's not that old, but older than he was. If you ever see a picture of Jim Healy when he was a Marine, he was badass.
Yeah. Damn. He was your standard Marine-looking Marine back in the day.
He was a jarhead.
Yeah. Yes, he was.
So Jim's a great guy. I'm glad he's on board with you. Mm-hmm. Make him brew a thing or 2.
We're gonna. We got to first. We got to get him to drink a thing or 2, and then we'll make him brew.
That's true. He drinks 1 beer a year, right?
1 or 2. 1 or 2. He'll have a beer here and a beer there, and he'll. I can't tell. Oh, there he is. I can't tell whether Matt was frozen or just really intently looking down at his phone.
Oh, he was intently looking at his phone.
But which we call he drinks. He'll drink a beer here and a beer there, and he'll have a couple of tastes here and there, and he enjoys it and he does it, but he doesn't. He hasn't over imbibed, if you will, in quite a while. So
you've got to get him. You got to get him some rubber boots with like the Marine logo on.
Oh hell yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
and because he's going to be. So brewing is what, about 80% janitorial work.
Yep.
So
here, Gad, you're muted. Weigh in.
About 80.
75%.
75.
So cleanliness is very important.
Oh, extremely important.
Yeah.
So if you get Jim to the brewery, you can make him do some of that work and maybe cut yourself down to 60.
There you go.
There's your plan.
I'll be like, we got to teach him how to work a tap, and we'll teach him how to clean a tank, and then we'll be good. So
there you go. Wish I lived closer. I'd be in the tap room all the time working for you guys.
Well, I mean, I've already had a good string of volunteers, so I think it will be.
Well, yeah, you probably want people pouring beers for you that'll say nice things about you guys. Yeah.
Everyone says nice stuff about me. I don't know about him.
There is that.
There is
So Matt, you've got flavored beer coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Any other flavors of beer coming up?
Well, we'll probably have about 5 core brands. We'll have a hazy pale that the recipe will be the same. We may rotate combos of hops in it.
Because that's never been done.
Well, again,
not by us.
Not by you yet.
Flavor's good. That's really the way I look at it. We'll have a hef. We'll have a coffee porter. We will have a double IPA. And then certain things that we might have most of the year, if not all the years, we'll probably do rotating single hopped IPA series. We will have a West Coast IPA. We'll have some, we'll have beers that are seasonally appropriate.
Wait a second. An IPA that's bitter?
Yes.
Those things exist?
Yes. Oh, they still do.
Maybe
not so much on this coast.
No, not on this coast.
But I hear they're making a comeback. It's like this hits of the 70s records.
Which means the hop timing just changes a little bit, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. So the only thing that we're going to be doing that's a little bit, I'd say, out of the normal for most breweries, especially around here in New Jersey, is one of our core beers will be a Belgian Patters beer. So like basically a 4.5%.
And folks, the reason for this is this would be the head brewer's favorite style.
Yeah,
maybe.
I may have won some awards for my Patters beer at one point or another.
Yeah, you brewed at least one brewery I know.
And we can always do riffs on it. We can do some dry hopping variants of it and so on. But it's if you come in again, most of the lager stuff we'll do is going to be for distro to begin with. Eventually, we'll be able to do lagers at our brewery when we get the bigger system and more tanks. But when you're doing lagers, you're also you're basically you have the residence time in the tanks is like 2 months. Right. So your cost of opportunity, instead of busting out maybe 3 batches of an ale, you're doing 1 batch of a lager. So until we're really set up to do lagers properly in our place, I think a Pater's beer is if someone wants to come in and have a simple, light, easy drinking, low ABV beer, but it still has a nice flavor profile. It's the Monk's Lawnmower beer, so that's going to be our house, lawnmower beer for a while.
So an ale for lager lovers.
Yeah, pretty much. And also, but trying to also bring them the awareness and raise them to the point where it's like these are esters, these are things adding flavor to a very simple beer. So
you're going to teach what yeast does other than add carbonation and alcohol?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's not all just beer farts and poop, I'm telling you.
Nope. So now I fully expect from this brewery, knowing the 2 primary owners and not the more of the silent one, but knowing you 2 guys, the things I expect from this brewery, I expect to see some interesting Belgian styles come out of it. Some exploration into those Belgian styles and the use of Belgian yeast. I do expect eventually when you get to the point where you can maybe bring in a lagering tank to get some dark lagers in.
Definitely.
Right. Tomave Pivo. I better see a Tomave Pivo at some point.
One of my favorite styles. New Zealand Pilsner is high up on the list. Also,
really
current styles. Yeah.
Very nice. So these are the things that I would really expect to see. Now, we have a question along these lines. John, if you want to pull that up.
There we go. I had to unmute myself first. There we go. Yeah. Doug Smith said, will you invest in a beer engine in the future, and do you do real ale? I didn't mute you, so you can.
Yeah. So Doug's talking about the British camera, which is I forget what camera stands for, but the R and the A at the end of it stand for real ale. Mm-hmm. To Americans, real ale is just basically warm beer that's very low carb. There's no, it's not, the carbonation doesn't force it through the lines. The hand engine, but the hand pump forces it through the lines. Mm-hmm. It's a movement that's been in England. It's gaining some popularity in the U.S., not as much as the lagers are gaining right now. And I've been to some places, some breweries that have those engines, and I've had their beers on both carbo and on the hand pump. And I got to say, on the hand pump, they're so much better. So is this?
Yeah.
Are you guys going to get into those English styles? Because the other thing, because the ESBs, the milds, the dark milds, these are some beautiful styles that are out there that aren't very well known. But is that going to be in your? Is that going to be in your niche? Is that going to be one of your lanes?
Well, I can say that I definitely want to have on my list of styles to. I should actually mute you when I'm saying this. There we go. I do want to say on my list is going to be ESBs or miles, dark miles, or anything like that. So to do them, to put them uncarbed in a firkin and on a cask engine, it's not an unthinkable thing. So it just means getting a cask engine in the tap room.
And how
or have pins or firkins that are going to go out into market into different bars that actually do have cask engines. So
what's the cost of a beer engine?
You know what? I couldn't begin to tell you. I've literally worked with 2 ever, and the people that
literally or littorally?
Littorally, yes. And the people that had them, I asked, and they acquired them. They didn't buy them, so they couldn't even begin to tell me how much they were. So, and I never really priced it out since it wasn't something that I was going to get. So, we'll see.
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love John's going to have to mute his.
Yeah, John, you got to mute.
There we go. Better?
It's more important that John mutes himself when you're talking than the other way around. He doesn't echo as much on yours.
I really love the English styles, and I would strive to make some of them. I've done a rye ESB several times at a brewery that I worked with previously. That was my recipe. We will definitely be doing that kind of recipe again, but at our place. In terms of maybe having a beer engine, it's not something that we'll aspire to right away, but maybe somewhere down the line. I think the one problem I see is just that I feel that a lot of times those type of beers get overlooked and they're not huge sellers, unfortunately. So I'd be more open to maybe doing a cask every now and then. I know there are several breweries in the state that do casks. So now you're talking naturally, you put priming sugar in it, let it naturally carb, and then just tap it and have it gravity fed. Again, we could take a beer that we've done and instead of carbing all of it, we can basically peel off 5 gallons of it, maybe even put an adjunct or do some twist of it and put it in a cask and have a cask night. That I definitely would see as something that we would like to do. Kind of it again gives you a reason to come to the tasting room to try something different, and we can play around with different things. And if something proves to be super popular, then maybe I would love to have it again. We want all the toys at some level, but you have to pick and choose and say, if I'm the only one drinking off of the toy line, well, if John and I are the only ones drinking off of the toy line,
when I come
making much money at it, and as much as I'm going to love to make some of these beers for fun, we have to run it a bit as a business first. So again, you're going to keep the doors open and buy your core beers and things like that, and keep the lights on. And then, we'll have some room to play around and do some stuff. So we'll definitely maybe think about doing just a naturally carbonated, gravity-fed casks, that we can tap on maybe, I don't know, once a month or one night every week or however often we really want to do it. Or even just maybe something just as a special every now and then thing. Or when we do a beer release, we may, again, have a special variant of it. And have it for the release or something, but I don't know exactly what we're going to do with that. But I'd say we'll definitely try to put something in a pin and have it naturally carved and try something like that at some point. Don't know if we'll have a full hand line yet, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, keep making the mistake.
Doug's question.
Yeah, make the mistake when I said that it might be, it's not out of the question. It's not out of the question. It's just a matter of when. Certainly not right from the get go, but. What Doug had said, he said one can hope, but I get it. Casks are hard sell. A gravity fed firkin or pin could be a good compromise. Absolutely. So
now one of the British styles you don't see too often, if at all anymore, that I would love to see come back, was the brown porter.
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
mute
you-
myself for a second. So,
Yeah, you don't see that too often.
so if you do a brown porter right, I mean, the brown malt has such a distinctive flavor, and
Yeah.
there's nothing that can be a substitute for it. I would
How hard is it to get that malt?
not hard at all, really, but
Really?
but it's just you a lot. The problem is most people make an American porter, which has no brown malt in it. To
Right.
make a true 1700s style British porter, you would have the brown malt, and it's a showcase for brown malt basically, and it's a much it's not as roast heavy. It doesn't have as much roast. It has a brown malt flavor. So I would love, like, a brown porter would be a perfect type of beer to put in a cask.
That's why it came to
You know,
mind.
And again, it's just one of those things where, unfortunately, English ales are by definition, half of them are, the style is called mild. I mean,
Right.
they are some of the most mild beers. So it's just one of those things where it's like, does it put the butts in the seats? Like you
Right.
put a bourbon barrel aged stout or some fancy IPA, and like all of a sudden people come out of the woodwork. Who's getting in a car and driving somewhere because you put a brown porter out?
You mean other than me?
Yeah, I would say the majority of beer drinkers, unfortunately. I mean, I love a brown porter, but I don't know if I'm getting in the car to go drive to have one. In some ways, but the other thing is too is
Hang on one second. Let me just hold that thought. I was just going to say it. You're absolutely right. It's not, but it is a good beer because like styles are changing a little bit. I mean, all the lagers that we're seeing, the amount of Schwarzbiers and Tomave Pivos in the last 6 months have been insane. But a lot of the styles that are like coming around again, and I'm loving every minute of it. But a style like that, no, it's not going to get somebody to come in. But unless they're just a complete hop head or haze head or whatever you want to call them, they're going to come in for their double IPAs and their Imperial Barrel Aged Stout, and then they're going to see the brown porter on and have that too. That's my 2 cents. But continue, Madam.
So, but the other thing is, I hate to say it, just thinking about New Jersey too. New Jersey is a little bit of a different place in terms of the market space and things like that too, because when you go to Denver, you can go to Hogs Head, and you're literally talking about a place that has 10 hand pulls, and that's all they have. They have 2 stouts, 3 porters, 4 ESBs, and whatever, 2 milds or whatever. Like that's it's everything. You can't do a brewery like that in New Jersey. You can't do a Belgian only brewery in New Jersey, which I think Belgian styles are a bit more exciting than English styles personally, but they have a little bit stronger flavors and so on. So, but I'm saying it's like
I would name that
beers.
I would name that to something effect, but I don't want to disparage one of the New Jersey breweries because it's not their fault. But you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, but I just, so that's the problem too. Is I would love to have hand pull. The problem is we'd spend the cost to put it in, and I don't think that is there any New Jersey? And you make it worth, like, that's the problem, is if you invest in something like that, you have to make it worth it. Well, I'll probably do seltzer on a line. Why? Because people walk into my brewery who don't drink beer. You're like, you're at a brewery, but you still came. I will make a seltzer for you, which is like, that kind of stuff blows my mind. But it's it's
smart business.
Yeah, you have to balance it. I mean, like I said, I would love all the toys. And I love a bunch of hand pump lines and all that stuff, but doesn't make business sense. So it's
what comes first, the hand pull or the hop back?
Well, probably the hop back, unfortunately,
probably, because that's what's going to sell.
Probably the hop back,
probably the centrifuge,
and like probably every other thing that it takes to make different types of IPA.
Are there?
It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while to get a hand pull. If ever. But it's not gonna zero out, doing a cask here and there. But
are there any breweries that
not
have
out
a
of the
hand
question?
Pull?
So.
Any breweries in New Jersey that have a hand pull?
I know at least 2 that are. Well, I mean, technically they're brew pubs. So you have JJ Biddings in Woodbridge.
Yes, they do.
And you have Triumph in Princeton.
God, we just had them on the show, and I can't remember the name of the old ship in. They don't have
Descendants.
Descendants. Don't they have a hand pull?
You know what? I think they do have a hand pull, and I know Cricket Hill used to have a hand pull. I'm not sure if they still do, but they did used to have a hand pull.
You should ask Rick what he did with it.
Yeah, maybe. You can make a donation to the cause.
There we go.
Kidding, Rick. Kidding, Rick.
Hey, Rick.
I'm sorry. Kidding, Ed. Kidding, Ed. Kidding. So,
But
anyway.
yeah, I mean, like I said, I would love to have it. I would love to have a hand pull line. I would see that as being problematic in that we're not moving the beer the way that I would like to move the beer. And I want to move beer and have fresh beer always when people come in. And,
I could see it being something that we make a firkin of a beer without carbing it or carbing it and putting it out and getting it somewhere that has a cask engine at a bar, that kind of a thing, as opposed to us doing it actually in the tap room.
And and I don't know a lot of bars that have one.
There are a few. There's a few.
I know that Cloverleaf has one that hasn't worked in decades.
Andy's
has one, yeah. Not sure I've ever had anything off their pull.
I mean, that's the other side of the coin. If there are a couple bars that have these things and aren't using them, I'll exclusively supply beer to your hand pulls.
Absolutely. There you go.
And if that makes it lucrative enough that I can have a hand pull in my own tapping tasting room, outstanding.
There you go.
There we go. Problem solved.
Moving on to the next question that John normally asks.
Mm-hmm.
And this is usually built off of things in the past, but what do you guys foresee where you're going to be, what events you're going to be able to do? Johnny already mentioned that you're going to be able to, you've already signed up for some beer festivals coming up.
I haven't actually signed up for any of them yet. We're
planning.
We're planning.
You may have a few ins.
Yeah. There will be some we do this year. Yeah, but
yeah. There's AC. And there's another inn that begins with an A as well that does a lot of beer festivals.
Sure. And that would be what's her name?
Allison.
So we have to there's a point that we'll be getting to very very shortly, and when I say shortly, I mean that shortly point could be weeks. Once we cross that point, we'll be able to say we'll be here and we'll be here and we'll be here. Blah, blah, blah.
You have to have beer first, John.
Yes, that's the point I'm talking about. Yeah.
Get the beer first.
Exactly.
But, so when you get into your space, what kind of events do you foresee happening? Because New Jersey law is rather restrictive as to what you can do. Mm-hmm. What do you? Obviously because of Jersey law, John, you can't bring your second love, sports, into it. You can't televise sports events in a brewery.
No, but we can play football in the parking lot.
Yes, you can.
It might even be better than some of the football we've been watching lately too. So.
Well, speaking as Giants fans, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
And even if you're in Jersey and you're a Jets fan, it's the same
thing.
But other than that, what I know a lot of breweries have events that support local charities. Have you looked into local charities at all that you're going to team up with?
You know what? There's a lot to do. Giving back is a big thing in any business, especially a brewery. To the community and to charity and so forth and so on. And there's going to be plenty of that we're going to do. Have we looked into it yet? No, honestly. And it's not because we're shunning it away by any means. It's because it's not time yet to look into it. We have to get to a certain point, and then when the barrel's rolling downhill, to use a pun for what we're doing, then we can absolutely we'll make an announcement and everybody will see it. If you follow us on all the social media and bookmark the website, so forth and so on. And of course, watch this podcast because I'm sure we'll be announcing a bunch of it right here.
Yeah, we're gonna try to ride that line between being a podcast about the craft beer industry and a social media outlet
and a vehicle for the brewery, right?
Trust me, folks, I will rein John in every now and then.
We'll look at it this way: we'll at least share on the Facebook for the Log Room guys.
Yes, absolutely.
Anything happening with that. So, in any event, but which we call
events. Yes, we're talking about events. Thank you.
Right? Yeah, we'll there'll be plenty. Trust me, and there'll be plenty of community involvement at the brewery. That's definitely a huge thing. As you know, I've said before on the podcast, I'm a former firefighter. I'm a life member of the New Jersey State Firemen's Exempt Association, and whatchamacallit, and Jim is as well as being a former Marine, and we're huge into community involvement, and not to say that Matt's not either. He is, and we'll be all up in that, if you will. All right, so
all up in that shit. All right.
So
big
anyway.
plans, big thoughts, big beers and small beers.
Mm-hmm.
Seltzer here or there.
Mm-hmm.
Pastry stouts. No.
No. Yeah.
Maybe.
But not
pastry stouts.
Stouts, yeah.
Yes.
Pastry seltzers.
Pastry seltzers. No.
So, well, it's going to be interesting to see what develops, how quickly it develops, how quickly you get to the point where you've got people lining up for beer.
That would be nice.
And, Gene and I making fun of you because people are lining up for beer. But
that's why it would be nice.
It would be nice.
We'll let it cut towards the front of the line.
No, you're probably conscripting us to help put together cases for people.
Yep.
Gene's security. He's controlling the line.
Yeah. Oh, security. You're going to put him. He's going to be the bouncer.
Security. Yeah, he's going to bounce the line.
Just because he can bounce nicely doesn't mean he's make a good bouncer. I'm just saying. Gene's too nice to be a bouncer.
That is true.
Just way too nice.
Everybody, the brewery will be over capacity by 100 people because Gene just let everybody.
It's like, okay,
here you go.
I can't really let you in, but okay.
Not to say this person is mean, because I don't think they're mean, but Jess would make a great bouncer outside controlling the line.
Oh no, she can handle.
Oh,
telling people where to wait and be patient and everything else. Absolutely.
And where to go.
Well, if they get all up in that, then yeah, she will definitely.
Damn good bouncer for the line. Anyway,
I'll come out of the brew house and represent.
There you go. Matt is a rather imposing figure. He's a large man.
Bouncing story up from Maloney's.
You did bouncing at Maloney's. Did you have to vault the bar to do so?
No, I didn't. I walked calmly around the bar, but so no, it was like Christmas Eve, and I had the most ridiculous Rudolph like sweater on with a light up nose. That we got to set the scene here, and there was one guy who came in and he was just sitting by himself and he was he's drinking. I could already tell he's like kind of getting a little drunk, and he had a bunch of town cops next to him. And they like the one guy asked, he's like, "Hey man, can you take a quick picture of us?" And he was like, he basically was like, just told him like, "No, go fuck yourself." And I was like, to the cops. And I was like, so they calmly walked over, and I was just like, "Listen, man, they're cops. Like, you don't want to real." And like he started getting into it with the cops, and I'm like, "All right, this is not good." So I walked around, and I like, and he's kind of a little tipsy, and I knew that the cops were regulars, man. I knew them all the time, so I just kind of tapped their shoulders. I'm like, I got you guys, don't worry. I don't want you guys to have to make this serious, And it's like I just stepped, and he's like, he's kind of doing this a little bit, and he like looks up, and I'm like, it's time to go, bud. Like that's it. Like we just got to like kind of just gently took him by the arm. We escorted him to the front door, and I walked back around the bar, and I had one of the waitresses up. She's like, "God damn, I never thought someone could look so goddamn intimidating wearing a Rudolph sweater like that." I'm like, that's the way it goes,
Well, Matt Potenski does exceed 6 feet.
By a few.
Yeah. By a couple inches.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's someone you can look up to for many reasons.
Yeah. But no, I'm excited. We're excited and scared shitless all at the same time, which if you're not, I don't think you're prepared to be in business. But, I think it's going to be really good. I think we have some solid experience between both production and sales.
Well, it's great to see John finally be employed.
I said useful, you said employed.
Same diff. He's had way too much damn time on his hands lately. So,
but
so that's awesome that you made him. Whose idea was it?
Well, I'd been offered 3 different head brewer positions in the last like 2 years, and one I was actually 2 of them were like too very small, and I just didn't think it was a good fit. And then finally, one was basically they were offering me like the head. Well, it was almost like open a brewery for us. It was like a business proposition. Great guys. They had a property. The property was cool. I just thought it was a lot for me to bite off and chew by myself, because it was like they didn't really know anything about brewing. They just, wanted to have a brewery open, and it's just like I'm very happy making the beer and trying to do quality control on that side, but then having to turn around and sell it, and it's basically doing both sides of the coin. I think was going to be a little too much for one person, even though obviously I'd have to hire people and like trust them to do things. But it's like, and John and I were sitting around the fire pit having a beer one night, and he's like, well, fuck it. Why don't we start something? And I was like, if you can get investment money, like that'd be way better. So, it's I think with my experience in production, his experience in sales, it's a way better situation than the original situation.
Now, speaking of investment money, are you guys going to do like a Kickstarter or anything like that, or people to be able to buy in? Because Brian's listening.
You can't do that in New Jersey.
Yeah,
you can't do a Kickstarter for a brewery in New Jersey,
which we learned when Gretchen Smith-Hausler was on the show.
Right. You cannot. Yeah. You can do it for another business, but you can't do anything involving alcohol. You cannot do a Kickstarter for. No, we're kind of covered between the
3 of you.
Between the 3 of us and yeah, we're kind of covered. Let's leave it at that. We're kind of covered. We'll leave it there. But yeah, I mean, trust me, we can be covered 3 times as much and be better off for it. But for the direction we're going and how we're doing it to start, we're covered.
Good.
So we're getting we're getting things covered that we need to open, and then the other toys will come down the road.
Yeah.
So for I can't be any more ambiguous than that.
Nope, that's it answers the question without details, which is
right.
The question is still answered.
So, believe me, I wish you could do a Kickstarter for it. It would have started. We started this. I mean, this conversation that Matt's talking about happened last March or April.
Right. Yeah, like April, and May.
Yeah. So, and we incorporated the business last July. So this has been tomorrow is actually the 7-month anniversary of our incorporation.
So when the conversation happened, how drunk were you?
It was right in the beginning of the night.
It was before the wooden cleat.
It was before the wooden cleat.
Okay.
Yeah. After wooden cleat, things got a little fuzzy.
Yeah, it was before the big barrel aged barley wines and before the second cigar. So we were right.
So will you have a cigar smoking section outside the brewery?
Yeah, it's called the outdoor space.
Yeah, the whole outdoor space.
So, but you don't smoke cigars anymore, so you can come out there and just like secondhand inhale.
Yeah, because that's good for me. So most important questions. We've heard this from a bunch of other breweries. Mm-hmm. Will you be naming your fermentation tanks? Are they going to be named after shark species?
Most likely.
Just wondering.
Well, I'll have to wait till we get the biggest tank we can get,
and that'll be the whale shark.
That'll be whale shark. So.
Yes, whale shark.
Yeah.
One of my favorite pictures ever of a whale shark, Matt Potenski took.
Thank you. My favorite picture that I've ever taken is of a whale shark.
Oh, it's a beautiful picture. I think we're talking about the same picture.
Yeah. 15 barrel brew house. We're going to wait until we get the 240 barrel tank that we have to brew into 75 times.
And the thing is, the 3.5 you can't really call the dogfish because that's kind of taken. So you have to find another small shark to call that.
Sand shark?
No, that's too generic.
Nah, he'll find something.
Well, something, yeah.
I have plenty of names.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
See. I have plenty of names too, but none of them will go for.
The 3-barrel system might be named after Rays, and then the full-size system might be named after Sharks.
There you go. But you can't call the small thing a Manta. That's just.
Oh. There's a lot of small Rays. So that's fine.
There we go. So come to Coastal Brew Works. You'll get an education in beer and a lesson in marine biology, especially those fish that are mostly cartilage. Did I get that right?
Elasmobranchs.
There you go.
Cartilaginous fish.
There we go. Cartilaginous? Cartilaginous?
Yes.
Cartilaginous.
Sharks, rays, and chimeras, also known as ghost sharks.
Ghost sharks.
Yeah.
Oh man, you gotta have a
deep water.
What do they call that? Is it a warlock shark? What is the that really?
Goblin shark.
Goblin shark. That's it.
Mitsurakina. Yeah.
God, I love those. Anyway, so we've degraded 2 men in gray suits again. So once again, guys, congratulations on this.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks.
If you've been watching the show, you guys know that I've known for a little bit that this was coming. A bunch of people have. There's a group on Facebook we call the Dipshits. They've been kind of clued in, even though it wasn't explicitly stated. They've all known. So now it is out there to the public. Coastal Brew Works. Opening sometime here in 2022. You'll see some of the beers come out later this year. The brew house, well, we'll see.
It is on NJCB already. Yeah.
Say it again.
It is on NJCB as well already.
Yep.
But we're in the coming soon brewery section.
Yep. And hopefully they won't hit that whole thing where they say we'll be opening in 2022 and fall 2022. It turns out to be spring of 23.
Well, like I said, I mean, it could be we'll be at full. We're not going to be at full capacity in the brewery until 2023, but hopefully we'll be able to open the tap room in 2022
with the contract beers being shipped into the tap room. Is that what we're talking about?
Contract beers
right?
just for distribution.
Right. Okay.
Contract beers just for distribution.
So we will try. Again, this isn't Amazon. You don't just order something, they grab it off the shelf and ship it to you. You obviously have to get things fabricated. And with supply chain issues and things like that that's going on in the world right now, we are hoping to maybe get the 3-barrel system this year and get the doors open. That's the goal, the 3.5-barrel system. We're going to see if that works. It may not work. It depends. It's not up to us because the problem is the manufacturers can't even say we'll get it to you in X amount of time because they're not sure when they get certain raw materials and things.
That is actually related to my job. It's what I do, and I can tell you right now that the world of logistics and supply chain is fucked.
Yeah, it's what the British call proper fucked. Yeah,
proper fucked. It is proper fucked.
It is proper fucked right now.
Yes, without lube. Yeah. So hopefully things will ease up and you will get your equipment when you get your equipment.
And that's the thing is we can only control what we control. So we'll try to get the stuff ordered and try to get it in as soon as possible, get things going. And, at the same time too, you have inspections and all kinds of other things. So we can have everything in the brewery, have it set up, and we can't legally produce and sell beer until everything's signed off on.
Well, there are people that have found spaces to put a brewery in and then found out that the space needed a hell of a lot of work to get it up to snuff to be able to pull in the equipment they want to put in.
Mm-hmm. So that I don't see being a problem. But again, you have to have everything inspected and approved before final permits are issued, and then you're legal to produce and sell beer. So we will do all we can in our power to make that process move as much as we can. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of stuff we can't control, and we can just put ourselves in the best spot to have things ready and done well and done in a timely fashion, so that when an inspection comes in, he just looks around, he says everything's in order, stamp, approval, blah blah blah, and whatever happens. We'll keep everyone updated on the process and how everything's going. So
exactly, and you
exactly,
yeah. We heard you.
So it would have been so much better to actually have this particular show where we both could have talked at the same time.
Probably, yes. More than likely, but the way it fell out, you guys were on the road.
Yeah.
Being on the road, we had no.
No, it kind of was
was-
ubiquitous, right? You know, so.
Ubiquitous, mean all over the place? Well, that's not quite the definition of ubiquitous, but
Well,
anyway. So, we couldn't really book a guest for the show because we didn't know exactly if John and Matt would be ready at the space when they'd be at the space, but they did get there on time and in time enough to eat.
we ate too. Yeah, we did.
How was your pizza?
We ate too.
Okay, they are north of Buffalo, folks.
It wasn't the worst.
Why don't you just get wings? No, north of Buffalo, north of Albany.
It definitely wasn't what I'm used to.
So it wasn't tri-state area beer, but pizza, but it wasn't Rhode Island pizza.
Yeah.
Right. Kind of in between. Yeah.
We've
Let's put it this
established on the
way.
show
It
many
works.
times.
It works.
We established it many times in the show. Rhode Island pizza sucks.
There you go.
The other thing I love about Rhode Island is they like to put up memes all the time. Because I'm still in some of those Rhode Island groups about how large their potholes are, and I think they're so cute. It's like large potholes. You've never been on Tunnelly Avenue, have you?
No. Huh.
I've seen,
I have. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Well, no, the Rhode Island people. I've seen semis swallowed.
Throw them in the middle of Newark and see what happens.
Right. No.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, they're funny. Anyway, anything else you guys want to say about the brewery before we because I'm not going to even attempt the epilogue.
Oh, I have it right here.
Yeah, I know you've got it right there.
Well, I'll say one thing.
He's not pointing at Matt. So
If John wants to mute for a second.
I have it. I have it right here.
That's Matt's over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you want to mute?
Yes.
I will say this too, is that being in Wall, I think it's a great location. We're going to be in the heart of Monmouth County. Monmouth County will by far have the highest density of breweries anywhere in the state, I believe.
They already do.
And yeah, I mean, and so we did a little bit of a, you have Icarus moving up to Brick.
That's still Ocean County, though.
But it's still. I'm saying
right across the Manasquan. From
true, but I'm saying in the general. So we did in the general area. I believe we're going to have about 14 breweries, other breweries within about a 25-minute radius.
Icarus is going to be about 10 miles from you guys.
Yeah. So in the winter they'll be 15 minutes from us. In the summer they'll be an hour and a half from us.
Yeah,
We'll see how that goes.
The bridge crossings across the Manasquan.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking everything from alternate endings all the way up in like Matawan, Aberdeen area, all the way down to Icarus and Brick. And, Point Pleasant has 2 breweries. We'll have another brewery in Wall.
There's a brewery. There's this brewery in Ocean, right?
Yeah.
I've heard of them.
We'll be on 30, right off 34. If you go up 34, you have Source. We'll have Kane, Little Dog, Bradley Brew, Beach House.
Head towards the coast. You've got the breweries in Asbury.
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of breweries in that kind of area. So the more that New Jersey's talking about doing beer trails and doing all this stuff, it's exciting because I think we're far enough away from other breweries that we have our own little area, but we're close enough that not only will we have good friends in the industry who are close who we can lean on in a pinch, or they can lean on us. It's when people come down, and a lot of people go in these little brewery crawls where they hit several breweries at a time. We're kind of going to be in the middle of a big semicircle of breweries. So, I think
having a designated driver to drive them, of course.
Yeah, of course. And I'm sure hopefully someone does some beer bus type stuff in our area, because that would be a great thing.
You go west too. I mean, not too far. Not you get down to 195 is going to be a quarter of a mile from us. You scooch out to Screaming Hill is 20 minutes away, and then you add another 20 minutes from where you'll get on 195 anyway. Or maybe 25 minutes. But if you add another 5-10 minutes to that, you get to Old Heights too.
Yep. Old Heights won't be too far away.
And Screaming Hill is actually technically still in Monmouth County, but Old Heights is in Mercer County. So
they're in Mercer.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's going to be great, especially like Matt said with the beer trails going on. I think he and I were at Source the other day, and a beer trolley pulled in with about 30 people, and they got off and walked into Source. You know, so
now,
and that's going from brewer to brewer. So
I heard rumor there's another brewery opening in Wall.
yes, there's another one opening off of 71 on the Belmar side of Wall.
On the other side of Wall.
We'll be on the Farmingdale side of Wall, or the Howell side of Wall, if you want to say, or whatever. But
that's where my mom lived when I was born.
There you go.
And when she moved out of Farmingdale, she moved to Wall.
Right.
I'm a little familiar with the area.
There you go.
Wall
but on the opposite,
Wall Township, which is the old home of Hink's Turkey Farm.
There you go. Yes, Hink's Turkey Farm.
I miss Hink's Turkey Farm. I miss it.
And if you're in Wall, Hink's Turkey Farm. Right. Yeah. If you're in Wall, if you're down by Belmar, whatever, you take Belmar Boulevard straight out, go into the brewery, you can pass right by it.
Yep.
So but in any event, yeah. But
it's gone now, isn't it?
The building's there.
The building.
It's gone, but the land is there. The old building, the old coops are there, and
so if you come off the circle where Peddler's Village used to be.
Yep.
Right, which is like nearly across from Hink's Turkey Farm. Next to Peddler's Village, there was that apartment complex.
Yep.
That's where I lived.
That's where you lived. There you go.
Right there.
Imagine that. When you were 2.
I don't have to imagine it. I lived it.
Well, you were 2.
I was 2. I remember it, though.
You do?
Yeah.
Kudos to you.
Peddler's Village used to be Grand Union.
There you go. Yep.
Anyway.
Anyway, so cool. Yeah, we're excited, and like Matt said, a little bit scared or whatever, but it'll work. It'll be good. We're stoked. We're ready. You know, we want to do everything right. We don't half-ass anything. We want to get it done the right way. But
definitely whole-assing everything.
Whole-assing everything. Whole-assing everything.
Yes.
Assholing. Whole-assing.
Whole-assing everything.
That's it. Assholes who whole-ass. That could be our tagline.
There you go.
We whole ass.
You guys have a model yet? Any models? You can do better.
Yeah, you can do better.
We will.
You can do better.
Yeah.
But we're stoked. We're excited, and we want to be open yesterday, but we know the realities of it, and we're going to do it the right way. So
there you
go. All right. So all right. Well, there you go.
Brewery hours. Have you decided that yet?
You know what? I mean, it's probably premature, but we're looking at being open often. How's that?
Often.
You know, 9 or 10 days a week.
Often, off and on.
I'll probably be there all of the time.
We're going to be there all the time. So
have a beer dish.
Will be open.
Why keep the tap room door locked if we're going to be there all the time?
Oh, so you're going to be like the 7-Eleven of breweries.
Exactly. Right. We'll keep the light on for you.
Yeah.
Oh, no, God, the Hotel 6.
Yeah, Motel 6.
Motel 6.
Motel 6, yeah.
Anyway.
All right. So there you go. Big news for tonight. So I'm personally stoked to have Matt and Jim as partners, and we're gonna do this. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time.
I'm stoked to have Jim as a partner, and I'm mildly enthused to have John as a partner.
And I'm so excited that you guys didn't ask me.
Well,
so
Dave,
are we.
You bring next to nothing to the table, so we're happy with that.
Well, yeah, because they know one thing. I bring nothing to the table, and I'm broke. I brought nothing. Man,
we figure you'll drink enough, so.
Oh yeah,
at the end of the bar for you.
I'll financially support you guys.
That's it.
Anyway,
right. So unless there's anything else, John,
I think we're good.
Let's grow to the outro.
Yeah, we'll do it. So stay tuned. Just like I said, one more time, I'll throw it up. If anybody is still watching, check out the website. It's www.coastalbrewworks.com. Facebook and Instagram are both at Coastal Brewworks, and of course, Twitter is at DrinkCoastalBW.
And I can't wait to see what your can art will look like.
Neither can we. We're working on some cool things. Yeah. So it'll be fun. It'll be good. So Anyway, all right.
I don't know. Looking at like simple can art like this with that wave. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we don't want to make the wave kind of a feature in your can based on another brewery in the state.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about, but that's circular so much.
We're gonna do our own thing.
Yeah, because you're coastal, they're kind of surfer based.
Yeah,
makes it a little tough to.
Yeah.
Okay,
we'll make it work. Don't worry.
We'll make it work. All right. Well, Johnny, bring us home.
All right. On that note, we got one more comment before I go anywhere. Hold on. Very important. I put this comment up.
Oh my God, he watched the show.
He's stoked to partner with both of us as well. So there you go. And there you go.
Jim, it's been too long.
There you go. Absolutely. We are stoked to be partners with you too, pal. So awesome. So cool. Awesome. If you'd have commented earlier, we could have brought you on the show. And you could.
And I think that's why he waited till the end.
He waited till the last minute.
Knowing Jim. I don't want to be on this fucking show.
All right. On that note, we'll wrap it up for today. We want to thank everybody for watching, and for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. There we go. Don't forget to visit our website, www.lagerroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and, of course, our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Lager Room. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on both Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday night around 6:30 Eastern Time-ish. And for those of you that just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcasts, and iHeartRadio as well. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you'll never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Unless you want to. Exactly. Right. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly, especially if you're watching the Super Bowl this weekend. And we will talk to you soon.
Unless you're staying home, then drink whatever you want.
Well, yeah, if you're staying home watching the Super Bowl or just, going, to the neighbor's house, then have at it. But exactly.
But drink locally.
Really quick, before I say the last line, who's winning the Super Bowl, Matt?
I gotta go Rams.
Rams. Dave?
Cincy has been just a beautiful story.
Yeah.
I've got to go. My heart's with Cincy on this one. Got to go with Cincy. And because I'm rooting for him means they won't win, which means Matt's right.
All right. Well, I'll tell you right now, Cincinnati would be an amazing story for them to win it this year. After, Joe Burrow's second year and what they've got, like Cinderella story, right?
Worst record last year, wasn't it?
They had the worst record. They've had over the last 2 years combined, they've had the worst record in the NFL. So, but the Rams are going to win.
I don't disagree with that, but I'd love to see Cincinnati.
The Rams are going to. I would. You know what? Honestly, I'm not going to be disappointed in either team because I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, the Cincy better win," because I can't stand the Rams or vice versa.
Yeah,
it's going to be It's going to be a great story either way. The whole Cincinnati story and Joe Burrow in his second year.
Stafford's taking the longest to get.
And Stafford, he's one of the oldest quarterbacks, one of the oldest quarterbacks in history to start in his first Super Bowl.
Yep.
And all he was. It's a great story either way you look at it. So it's just going to be a good game. I'm going to have fun watching on Sunday. That's all.
But will this be the best game of the playoffs?
No.
Not even close.
We already know what the best game of the playoffs is.
Buffalo KC.
Super Bowl 56 was that game.
Yeah. It's a shame they just can't play that again. And a quick question for you, John, to kind of, 20 hours beforehand segue into your podcast tomorrow.
Right.
That whole statement of just let the worst two teams, the worst team from the AFC and the NFC, play each other for the top draft pick rather than playing the Pro Bowl.
You know what? What?
I would like.
No, I would love to see that.
I would watch that.
You know how they're going to play? Like the guys.
No. Huh?
Like they played in the Pro Bowl. Like
But
just
they'll-
grab them and lay them down on the ground. You know?
No. It's not who loses gets the pick. Who wins to see what.
Oh no, I know what you mean. Yeah, no, I agree with that. That'd be cool. That'd be a great story. That'd be awesome to see that. I'd like to see that, but it's that'd be. You know what? Let's put it this way though. What do you do this way? What do you do if the worst team in the league that has the worst? They go 0-16, 0-17 now, right?
Yep.
And the next worst team is 4-13. Okay, and they actually are a decent team. They just happen to go 4-13. They're beating the 0-17 team for all intents and purposes. So that means that the team that actually really did suck the worst isn't getting the first pick.
However,
That's why I like soccer with the relegation, because it gives someone an incentive not to suck.
Right. This is true.
but here's the thing: to that point, what it will eliminate are those teams that may tank their last couple of games to get that draft pick.
True story. Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah, fair enough. That would work. That would work.
Now, there's another movement out there to make the Super Bowl be Super Bowl Saturday than Sunday. So that way, the Monday after the Super Bowl isn't American Hangover Day.
They're going to try to push the Super Bowl back till it's President's weekend.
Yeah, they're gonna eventually within the next couple of years they're going to get the Super Bowl one more weekend ahead, so that it's President's weekend. So the people that have off on Monday anyway. So.
Yeah, most
That's the way it's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't. Anyway,
Most people do. So, all right. On that note, we will we'll talk to you soon. Enjoy the rest of your week and the weekend, and we will talk soon, guys. Take care. Cheers.
ciao, folks. Who's on next week?
What?
Who's on next week?
Next week is Jeff Greco from Heavy Reel Brewing.
That's news to me. What are you
No, I
gonna tell
told
me?
you.
Did you?
Jeff Greco from Heavy Reel Brewing in Seaside Heights, New Jersey. There you go.
All right.
Take care, guys.
Bye, folks.